Right, okay. So the first one is, before the lockdown was announced, did you know much about the coronavirus and had you heard a lot about it?
Didn't know anything about it until we heard that there was a nasty virus in China, and all the people that were either living or holidaying in China at the time were quickly sent home, well, quite quickly sent home, and quite a number of them went into our local hospital, Arrow Park Hospital, for quarantine for 2 weeks. But we still didn't really think anything too much at the time. We just thought, oh, they'll be all right, and didn't realise it was going to be global.
No. Yeah. Okay. When the lockdown was announced, do you remember how you felt? Like, did it, like the actual lockdown? So when they were like, you're gonna have to stay in and stuff.
Well, when they announced that and everything was going to be shut down, it really was a shock because I never known anything like it. I mean, even during the war, you still had theatres and cinemas. You could still go out with your friends and to the pubs and everything. This was absolutely total lockdown. But we all thought it was only going to be about 3 or 4 weeks, so we could put up with that. And then there came a time during the middle, after about 6 or 7 weeks, when it became really hard. We realised it was going to be a long time before things ever got back to so-called normal, and it's still going to be a long time before things get back to normal, but at least they're getting better.
Yeah. Okay. What have you found to be the hardest part of lockdown?
The hardest part of lockdown is, first, well, apart from living with a husband who has dementia, it was worrying about shopping.
Yeah.
And of course whether we were going to get the coronavirus. I did have a friend that had it. Not bad enough to go into hospital, but she was really poorly, but thankfully I hadn't seen her for 3 weeks prior to her getting this horrible thing. Even at the very beginning, I think we were still stunned. We didn't realise it was going to be as bad and as worldwide as it has been almost every country in the world.
Yeah. Okay. What is it? Did you struggle to get any shopping or doing any other practical things?
No, didn't struggle with anything in practical things, and we had got a good stock. My neighbour next door was very, very good. Used to do it lots of stuff. The only problem with that, every time she brought shopping in, there was 2 big cream cakes with it. But with family, and then delivery from a butcher's, and I wasn't ever really worried about food.
Okay. How would you feel about getting on public transport, like buses now? Are you going to bother, or are you just going to...
Well, before all this happened, we used to use the buses a lot, obviously because of our free pass.
Yeah.
And from the end of our road, we could get out to Liverpool, or we could go to Nest, and the other way we did use the buses a lot, and in fact we've even used them in other parts of the country. But even with a mask on, it'd be a long time before I would think of getting on a bus. Because when we go on a bus, it's mostly during the daytime when it's all elderly people like us anyway. Yeah. So they're the most vulnerable. The buses all seem to be still empty going past.
Okay. So obviously with Grandad, how's Grandad been with dementia? Or how would you say, like, how has he coped with it?
At the beginning it was very hard because I was having to repeat myself and explain all the day, and I just finished telling him all about the shutdown, and he'll say things like, oh, put the television on, see if there's any sport, and are you going to church, and all that sort of thing, and it really got you down, it really did. But funnily enough, now we're coming to the end of it, he seems to have accepted it when it's almost too late.
Yeah.
To realise now what it's all about.
Oh, right, okay. So that's a bit similar. So the next question is, does he understand what's happening? And, like, you basically just said that. Do you have to explain it all the time to it? Yeah. But, like, when you explain it, does he understand it?
when I explain it, he totally understands it, and he'll watch the news and he'll think,
Yeah.
all those deaths, isn't that terrible?
Oh.
But then his memory is so short.
Yeah, and then he just forgets. Has being in lockdown, do you reckon, affected the dementia?
Well, he has definitely gone, his dementia has definitely got a lot worse. Whether that's anything to do with lockdown or whether that was going to happen anyway, you'll never know. But he has gone, I think it's gone worse.
His brain's probably not been stimulated, has it?
Exactly, no stimulation, you see. And we used to go to this class once a week and things like that. We used to go out a lot.
Yeah.
Even if it was just going out somewhere in the afternoon, having a coffee and a cake somewhere, we used to go out a lot.
Yeah.
Theatre and out for meals and things like that, which of course has all stopped.
Yeah. So the next one is like, how have you found it being in lockdown with someone with dementia? Don't worry.
Very hard at times.
Yeah.
Very hard at times. And some days I'm very emotional, and the least thing upset me in tears.
Yeah.
And especially when he got bad-tempered.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as he, I say, you were very nasty, and I would be nasty with you. And that. So it was no use saying anything. But you just, that was sort of in the middle, 6, 7 weeks, and that was the worst part, I think, because there was no end in sight.
Yeah.
But I have been quite emotional about it.
Yeah.
But I know we can't help it, and I have to keep telling myself that,
Yeah. Okay. So how much support have you been offered, if any, from the Age UK and Alzheimer's?
A lot of support.
Oh really? Okay.
A lot of support. Well, they gave me this iPad, didn't they? Well, they sent a box of goodies for me quite near the beginning. And
was it for you or?
No, it was for me.
Oh really? That's good.
Box. There was a puzzle book. There was CD. There was a DVD. With popcorn to eat while we watched the DVD, and a little doggy in a basket, and a plant, all for me.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
They ring up every week, and they're lovely. And somebody next week is from I don't know how you would say it. To say a dementia expert sounds a bit funny, but that's what they are.
Yeah,
is going to get in touch with me.
All right.
And, because, unless you've lived with dementia, you don't know what
you don't know what.
People say, just walk away, go in another room.
No.
You can do that 90% of the time, but then sometimes you just blast off.
Yeah.
And that's when it causes the trouble.
Right, okay.
Can't help it, it's human nature.
Do you think it'll have long-term effects on people living with dementia, the lockdown, or do you reckon... I don't know, that's quite a weird question.
Yeah, so you can't prove anything really, can you? With
no.
It, you can't. It's not going to get any better anyway. Not just saying anybody that's got. They're not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse, but it might not get. It might slow down a bit.
Yeah.
When we get back to so-called normal life.
Yeah. Okay. So the last couple of questions. Have you found converting to how have you found contacting people virtually, how did you have to learn to WhatsApp video call, and how was it learning how to Zoom and stuff?
Yes, I did have to. Yeah, when they sent me the iPad, I just hadn't got a clue what to do with it, but actually I'm learning, and I've been on Zoom, and I'm not very technical really, but hopefully I've been on Zoom with people from our church, and also going with the people from the UK, hopefully. Somebody's going to ring me tomorrow and talk me through it, and then set it up for next week.
Okay. If you could talk about anything positive out of such a bad situation, has anything positive at all come out of lockdown? Do you think? Has there been any good? It's hard to think, isn't it?
Like everybody else, I've learned to done lots of recipes which I wouldn't normally have done. We've cleared out cupboards and the garage, and we've done gardening, and all those sort of things that you put on one side, we've had plenty of time to do.
Yeah.
I actually saw a recipe the other day for butternut squash soup, and I made that, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
But the recipe's in the bin.
Oh,
Took
we
me
made
all
that.
morning to make it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but that's that sort of thing. Yeah, and even though it's hard living with someone with dementia,
Yeah.
we have laughs and good times. It's not all doom and
No,
gloom.
no. This interview that makes out like it is.
No, it's not all doom and
No,
gloom. We
definitely.
still have laughs and jokes and things like that.
Yeah, okay, it's just the last question. Have you found that during lockdown you've connected more with people in the community? If so, what is your connection like with your neighbours prior to lockdown, and what has it changed to
No,
now?
I don't think we have. I mean, we were always, when it was the clapping, at night at 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
we the people in the new estate opposite, we started talking to a couple of them.
yeah,
But then we were starting to talk to them anyway, so I don't think it's made any difference really, because listen,
yeah.
there's some neighbours at both ends of the road that you just say hello and that's it. You don't know them really.
No, I feel like if people were going to talk to you, they would have talked to you before lockdown.
That, yeah, but we have started talking to this man with the cockapoo. I don't know what his wife does, but she's never stopped working. She goes out every day. He's obviously retired.
Yeah.
And we met him the other day, and a couple of weeks ago now. And I said, is he a cockapoo? But it was all that, I'm not being recorded,